Hi everyone. Um, oh, I'm a little frustrated. I get easily frustrated when the Bible is taken out of context. Oh, Father, help me with that. But I do. I get frustrated. I'm gonna start watching. I started watching the Pauline paradox. That was posted on a forum I follow. By 119 Ministries, is the majority ever wrong? And I'm watching the video, and one of the what I have on the screen right now that they're saying in the video, and they've got it written, can something that God declared to be truth for his people become not truth later? If absolute truth can become something no longer truth, was it really truth, and was it really absolute? Um, the problem with their logic here is that, yes, there are some things that are absolute truth that are still absolute truth, but that doesn't mean they're not, that doesn't mean they're still observed. So, for instance, they would say if God said animals are unclean, or I mean, if pork was unclean, that it's still unclean and he doesn't change his mind. And if it was truth then, he's not going to change it. I haven't watched all the video. I paused it, but that's kind of where I'm starting out. And I'm like, wait a minute, just wait 1 minute. Ah, so Noah covenant. Okay, first in the garden, it was all no meat. You know, they didn't eat meat. They ate all veggies from what we know of. They didn't start eating meat until after Noah. And as one of my previous videos said, um, under Noah, God said that all animals were for us to eat, all that moves upon the earth. So he did, that was truth when he said it, and it was his command, and it was his covenant. I think that's where they're getting mixed up is God can take a covenant and then change it to another covenant, and there's the first one's just as true as the second one's true as the first one's true. But as we know, according to Genesis 9, I think it was, whichever chapter the flood's in, I don't have it right in front of me, but right after the flood, everything that moved upon the earth was for man for food. All animals were. And then when Moses came along, there was, then it was this is unclean to eat and this is clean to eat. So we know that there's a change there. It doesn't make the first one now untrue. It makes them both true. Everything God says is true. So, and the other things that I thought of is it was truth that disobeying the Sabbath was punishable by death in the Old Covenant. Um, Murdering someone was punishable by death. Um, there was lots of, adultery was, and rape was, and, adultery was, punishable by stoning to death, but those aren't laws anymore. They were laws from God, but they're not laws anymore. So it was true when he said it, and it's still true even though we don't have to live under that law of stoning people. It doesn't make it. Their logic is I just see logical fallacies by just, I just watched it for 1 minute and I'm like, you make no sense. But I'll keep watching, but that is something I thought of. I just, it's illogical. My mind runs logically, and j- just because we don't do these things anymore doesn't mean they weren't true to begin with. They're still true. Everything in the Old Testament is true, but that doesn't mean we still do it. We're not saying it's false now. It was always true. It continues to be true. It'll be true for the next billion years, but that doesn't mean it's still applicable. Not being applicable doesn't mean it's not true anymore. I don't get it. So, anyway, that's just my random thoughts. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.